I was a heroin addict for 20 years. I took drugs for about 27 years. And my life was totally messed up, totally desperate, just completely wasted. And my life had become a living hell. My story starts really when I was about 11 and my parents' marriage broke up and things started to go wrong in my life. By the time that I was 13, I was smoking drugs, and by the time I was 16, I got sent to juvenile prison for stealing, breaking in places. By the time I was 21, I was in prison for dealing drugs, and when I came out, I started taking heroin, started injecting drugs, and I lost all purpose in life. I'd lost everything. Heroin addiction it took everything from me. My family didn't want to know me. Any of my friends didn't want to know me. Even people that were what like I considered bad news would cross the street to avoid me in the end. I weighed about 7.5 stone. I'd lost all the veins in my body. I was injecting several times a day. I wasn't getting high anymore. I was just doing it to try and stay straight. I was just totally desperate. I'd been to loads of places trying to find help, trying to get clean, different methadone programs, Subutex programs, different drug action stuff. None of it seemed to work. And I remember my mum became a Christian, and I really hated that fact. I hated church. I didn't want anything to do with organised religion. I was totally against it. But I remember a really low point in my life, and my mum brought back this guy who she'd met at church, and he used to be an addict, and he'd become a Christian, and he talked about stuff like having a relationship with Jesus Christ, and I didn't really understand what he meant by that. But when I actually met this guy for the first time, he walked in the room and I could see that this guy had something about him that was real. He walked in the room and he kind of like, it was like he gave off this aura, but he had a life in him, and I recognised that. And when I saw him, I thought to myself, you know, whatever it is that guy's got, that is what I could do with. And I remember going to the local church, desperate for help, and the pastor there, he pointed me in the direction of Betel. And I came to Betel 8.5 years ago in a total mess. I was totally desperate. I didn't know if I was going to survive. All my friends had died by that point. And I decided it was time to give a relationship with Jesus Christ a real go, give it everything I had, because I'd lost everything anyway. What did I have to lose? Nothing. I was nearly dead. And I did this, and I came to a point where I was able to really submit myself to it. Cried out to God and said, you know, if there's anyone there, if you really are there, will you help me? And I met some amazing people in Betel that helped me through the early stages of withdrawal. Pretty soon I was clean of the drugs, and I realised that I had other issues in my life that I had to sort out. Issues like rejection, loneliness, insecurity, a lot of anger, a lot of bitterness about how my life had gone. And I started to address these things one by one. And it wasn't long after that I found that not only had I been helped through into freedom, but I was able to help other people into that, and I kind of caught hold of the vision of Betel. I just think back to like the 8.5 years since I've been here, and it was the start of an amazing adventure. I met my wife in Betel, ran a tree surgery business. I gained lots of qualifications while I was here. I ran a landscape gardening business. I've been very successful in what I've set out to do, which is a complete contrast to how my life was before, because everything I ever did in my life, I messed up, never worked out. And now I've done so many amazing things in Betel. I now speak in prisons to help people. My wife and I supervise a men's recovery centre, and it's just an amazing, incredible transformation that a relationship with Jesus Christ can bring about to the most desperate people, the people that you think that society is written off and tells that there is no hope, that in the gospel of Jesus Christ there actually is a lot of hope, and it's amazing. My name's Timon, and that was my story of how Jesus Christ changed my life.